Hey guys, we're working on cushions today. This is for the loft area to make up our mattress. There's 3 cushions. You only see 2 here, but there's another one of these that's unfinished. We finished 1 cushion already, and we're going to work on the next cushion and show you guys how we do it. They're 22 by 60 inch finished cushions. So we cut the foam to 22.5 by 60.5. And to cut the foam, we showed you in a previous video, we used a bread knife. So we're doing box corner cushions, and normally if it were a smaller cushion, it would take 1 sheet of fabric. But because of the size of this, we had to use 2 and seam them together. And you can see the seam here running down the front. And they're reversible cushions. On the back, we have a zipper for inserting the foam. And we can easily take the cover off to wash it if we need to. The fabric is an outdoor fabric, which will help keep it from staining and that sort of thing. So now we just need to get our fabric cut to size. So we had to move inside. It's AC in here anyway, so it'll be nice. We cut our fabric to 2 pieces here. We started with a 54-inch fabric in width, and we cut it to a 69-inch length. We have 2 pieces that size, 54 by 69, and then we put basting tape down this one edge all the way down, and we're going to join these 2 pieces of fabric together by placing this edge on top of the basting tape here, and then we'll run a stitch down it, creating one large piece that we'll take the piece for our cushion from. This edge here that's going to be basted together ends up being the seam that we showed you that runs down the front of the cushion. You'll see it as we go along. Okay, so now that we have the center seam stitched, what we're going to do is measure 28 inches from the seam, both directions, and then that will give us enough fabric for our width and depth of the cushion. A helpful tool that we use to get all our measurements is a fabric calculator that we found on Sailrite's website. If you just go to their homepage, scroll down to the bottom under resources, you'll see a link that says fabric calculator. There we were able to just plug in what we wanted our finished cushion to be, depth, length, width, and it told us how much fabric we need and gave a diagram of where to make our cuts and everything. It was so helpful. So we have the width of the fabric cut. Now remember, this is the center seam that runs down the front of the cushion, and on each side here that's about half the depth. This is about half depth. You can almost picture now how the cushion will go in there like this, and there'll be a seam down here holding the zipper. What we have to do first, we have to square these edges up, make sure all these edges are square before we start working on putting in the zipper. So we have this side squared up. Now what we need to do is measure off of this side our 66.5 inches for the length. Okay, so we've measured our 66.5 inch length, and now we're going to square up this side, and then all our corners should be square. So now what we're going to be doing is cutting these corner notches right here all four corners and also the center notches that go like this. Once we've done that, we'll then be able to start putting in the zipper along this edge.
So when you do these corner notches on the Sailrite website, for them, they have the length and they talk about the depth, and the depth is the width. So our width is this way, so that's going to be our depth, and then our length is this way. And for our cushion, the depth needs to be 2 3/4 inches, and the length is 2 5/8 inches. So using this ruler, I'm going to measure 2 5/8, and then 2 3/4. And then I want to make sure that's lined up, and then just make my mark, and then that's what we're going to cut.
All right, now that all of our notches have been cut, we've turned the fabric over and made sure that this inside seam is facing up. Now we're going to come over to this long edge. We're going to measure off of that 1 1/4 inches in, because then we're going to put basting tape along that edge and fold it over like this to that line to make the flap for a zipper. So now that we have this edge folded over and basted down, we're going to spin it around and do the opposite edge the same way. And you don't have to use the basting tape. It just makes it a whole lot easier. So the zipper we're using is a number 5 zipper, and we've left it a little long on both ends. And that just makes it easier to get the zipper slide on later when we're ready to do that. So right now what we're going to be doing is putting basting tape on both sides of the zipper as close to the edge as we can get it. This is the side of the zipper that'll be facing out. This flat side is going to be facing inside the cushion. So that's where the basting tape's going to go, on this side that's facing out.
Okay, so now that we have both sides of the zipper basted, we're going to peel only one side off right now, which will be this side towards me, and it gets flipped over, and we're going to line it up with the outside edge of this fold that we made earlier. And then we're going to stick that down all the way from one end to the other. Alright, so now that we got this edge of the zipper down, we're going to fold this over. And we're going to bring this side over. And we're going to line up this edge on top of the other side of the zipper. So when it's done, everything will be basted down, and it's basically going to look like that. We'll peel this back, reveal the sticky side of it, and then baste this down onto there. So now that we have both sides basted, we just separate the zipper apart. And we're going to go to the sewing machine and stitch along the zipper here. So now that we have the zipper sewn in,
we're going to start sewing these edges together. So what we want to make sure is that the outside of the fabric is facing each other on the inside, so it's inside out, and we're going to allow for a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And we'll put some basting tape on here because it makes it a lot easier. Then we'll go through and we'll have to do these edges as well. So now these seams are done on the edges, and we gotta put the zipper back in. Now the zipper can be kind of tricky. It helps to have 2 people because you have to get them in there evenly. And if somebody can hold it while the other person pulls on the zipper itself, I'm going to try to do that and hold the camera at the same time. And see, that's uneven. So I think what I need to do is set the camera down and I can work better to help him put these together. All right, we got it. You slide it all the way through. And when I say all the way through, I mean all the way through the other end. That was the cat. Oh, poor baby. Now we have to put it back on there and slide it to the middle. And that's how we get it to stay closed. There we go. So for these corners, we want to pull out just like that, so that this seam meets up with the zipper evenly. And then we're going to be stitching again with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. We want to make sure that whatever direction we fold this seam allowance, we want to do the same direction on the other side. Now that the corners are finished, it's done. What we do now is just open it up and turn it right side out. And when we do, we want to just punch these corners out really nice, and it is ready to be stuffed with the cushion. And as you can see, it's dark outside. The cushion's in the van, so we'll show you that in the morning. But yeah, I think this turned out nice, despite the fact that we were working with very little light and a lot of interruptions. We won't know until we actually put the cushion in. We'll, like I said, show you that in the morning. So we're ready to stuff the cushion into the case we made. It's a lot windier today than we anticipated. We want to show you this out here because the lighting's so much better. But we'll see if we have to move inside or not. If anything, it'll be entertaining, because what we have to do first, we use this silk film that we wrap the cushion with. And it's not actually a silk, it's like a skin thin plastic material. You can't feel it underneath the fabric, and it doesn't make any noise when you sit on the cushion or anything, but it helps protect it from spills and things like that. This is a waterproof or water resistant material since it's made for patio furniture, that sort of thing. But it's just an added layer of protection. Now when you're doing smaller cushions, you can actually take this film, wrap it around the cushion, and then gather it up, stick a vacuum in there, and what it does is it sucks the air out, drawing the cushion in smaller. It makes it a lot easier to stuff the cover. But this thing's so big that we don't want to waste all that film. We're just going to put it on there to protect it and then try to squish the air out and get it in the cushion. It's going to take a little bit of muscle, but we're going to give this a shot. Alright, that was a job. It really takes at least 2 people. That silk film does not make it easier when you don't vacuum and can't gather it together. But we like having it on there. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. This is the front. Zipper looks nice. All the wrinkles fall out because you're stretching it so tight. But now we have one more to do, this size, and some little ones, and after we get that done, we'll take it into the van and show you how it looks in there. The cushions are done. What you see here is how I'll have it set up most of the time. When I'm traveling solo, this will act as both a bed and a sofa. It's really comfortable. Fits me perfect. Lots of headroom. And if I need this to be a little wider, these cushions can come right down here. I sleep in kind of like an L-shaped position, so, or maybe it's an H, I don't know. It's kind of with my knee up. So really these are just to give my knees room so that they don't fall onto the floor like this. So mostly I'm sleeping here, but that just makes it a little more comfortable, and I don't have to have a bunch of cushions here, and I still have all that floor space. When Kevin's with me, I'll have all 3 cushions in here, so we'll have a full bed. And then if I want, I can bring a buddy, put just 2 cushions, and have the 2 cushions in here as 2 separate beds. But like I said before, this fabric's easy to clean because it's like a patio fabric for patio furniture, can handle the outdoors. I have a table coming. It's supposed to be here today, and it's just one of those foldable tables. It'll sit here like a little coffee table. And then I have some shelving planned for here. It'll be a good place to store like all my art supplies and things. Maybe an easel back there. Getting it all worked out. And down here, I have a cushion for this pedestal here. Makes for a comfortable sitting area. Most of the time I just sit with my legs crossed and I'll have it like that, but let's say somebody comes into the van that likes to lean back. I can always do that right there. And then they're able to sit here. I can sit up there and we can have a conversation. Either way, remember this pedestal's on casters, so I can move it anywhere I want to sit in here. And then these cushions are actually the cushions that go on top of the fridge for when we have that pulled out as a bench. So then these fit on here. And then I have a place in here that they just stow away. Ouch. But yeah, I wanted to get this done because I'm going to be going on another camping trip, a second shakedown, and just wanted to see how it feels. I'm going to have it set up like I'm solo, even though Kevin's going to join me for part of it, but the rest of the time I will be solo. So that may be the next video. So those of you who have subscribed will see that video for sure, and if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll consider doing so. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.